Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta, and thank you everyone for tuning in for another one of our chats. We're so
Yeah,
excited,
with
and
our
we're
Hawaii.
both in Hawaii today.
Hawaii.
The weather is kind of cold, and we need the sunshine, so we're bringing it to you in our chat. Okay, before we get started, I'd like to remind you all that we would love your support. Don't forget, if you like our video, hit the thumb icon so you know that you said you liked it. Consider subscribing to our channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our chats. And Gloria is saying it's below this video. All right, we are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea, as Gloria mentioned. So we're going to start off with our teas. And today I'm drinking Jamaica, which is a Japanese brown rice roasted with some popcorn. I love it. I'm kind of on a roll here because I purchased a bag of
I think you're addicted. Let's just call it.
Yes. And I have it in a little seeper, been seeping right there. Do you see that?
Yes.
I'm going to take it out. And with this cup, there's a lid, and you flip the lid over and you put this on the lid like a little tray.
Oh, nice.
So that's my Jamaica. So cheers.
Cheers, my dear.
All right. And then Gloria can tell us what she's drinking. Hey, my mug looks similar to yours.
You know me, I am juicy lemon girl. So I am back to my lemon. It is cold outside. I think it's 54. So it's a little nippy. But this is Lloyd's, and it's juicy lemon. And the ingredients are Robos, green tea, lemon peel, apple, ginger, lemongrass, black pepper, which Rosetta taught us about, dried honey powder, and honey. That's it. I love it. Not a whole lot of things. I love it because it is just lemony and refreshing. So cheers.
Cheers. And I was saying earlier, which you didn't hear, your cup looks very similar to mine. In the shape, different color, but the shape kind of.
But the same shape.
Can you see it? There you go. We have big mugs here because it's a bit cold outside.
Yes, a bit nippy. Well, as you all know, we always kick off our show by talking about Ellen. Ellen always reminds us to be kind to one another, to listen to one another. And during the initial phase of the outbreak of COVID, she also added an additional step to listen to one another and to be kind to one another. So we always hope that you are going to do that, and just be conscious. That's all I can say. Just be conscious and know that we will make it through this too. Some way, somehow. We always do. So we're going to kick off our chat today talking about Dancing with the Stars. Yes. So were you shocked?
Double
elimination.
The elimination. Okay.
Double.
I watched it. Now I'm thinking back, who was eliminated? Am I blanking or something? Huh?
Matt, the Bachelor. Matt James.
Okay. I'm not sure where I was, but I did watch it all. And I'm like, where am I? Okay, sorry, I'm losing it. I did watch it, yes, because it was Disney week, right?
Right? Yes. And it came down to Matt or what is her name? Miss USA, Atlanta housewife.
I don't know her name. Oh, Kenya Moore.
Yes. And it came to Lim. Lim made the final decision, and he was like, you will live to dance another dance. And I mean, it was just shocking that it was Matt. Even after the event, there were comments regarding, how shocked, because, the Bachelor, the Bachelor community, the Bachelor squad, they thought Matt James would be around for quite a while. And it just, Tyra was shocked. She was like, I thought
that Matt James was not that bad. You know who I thought You know what I'm thinking? Okay, for those of you who are watching Dancing with the Stars now, do you have the same opinion? I find that the guy from Beverly Hills 90210, what's his
I
name?
agree.
Austin Green or whatever his name. I forget his
Yes.
name.
Him and Shauna.
With Shauna, they
Yeah.
I'm telling you, for some reason there's something missing in their dances and it's not really coming through.
No, and they are a real life couple. So I thought that was a little strange.
We've told you before, Gloria and I have said that they should have not have paired them together. They should have had
Correct.
completely different partners. And I believe that if they had, they wouldn't be the way they are. They would not be dancing the way they're dancing. Because I
Yes.
think that she is too lenient on him and
Yes.
he's not working to his full potential.
Yeah.
So I just find that I didn't think that Matt James should have gone. I think that he should have gone, to be
I
honest.
agree. It's times like this, because my husband, he always, when it comes to the voting, he'll say to me, he goes, it's just a popularity. It has nothing to do with talent. And when something like this happens, I have to agree. So I was, I thought his dance was amazing, how they fell out on the floor.
Yes, I thought they're very good. And I'm really enjoying Suni Lee. She's really
Yeah,
coming into herself and being more out there and open and not like that stiff gymnastic person that you have to
right,
be when you're in the gym. She's
right.
really trying her hardest and you can see it. And I think she is cute. She has a nice body. She can
Yes,
dance and she's sexy, I think.
absolutely. Absolutely. Like you said, there are some people who are stepping out, and then there's some people who are not. They're not stepping out. They're not doing anything to make it special. And those are the people I think should go home. And the people who are working hard, I think should be allowed to stay.
Yes, and the other couple I do like is I really like Amanda Klutz from The
Yes,
Talk. She's always been really good, and Melanie C is really good. I said Suni Lee I liked, and
right.
then there was that other one lady that I forget where she's from, but I really like her as well. I forget the
Well, a
name.
lot of people like sporty
Yes,
Spice.
Mel C.
Yeah,
So I
yes,
like her. She's really good and she amazing. Her dances are she knows how to dance. That woman really knows how
yeah,
to dance.
yes,
So
she
so
does.
those are my favorites. And
Okay. Well,
who are
we'll
your
keep
favorites?
watching. Well, my favorite is I think his name is Amani, the really tall, he's really tall, African American
Is
guy.
he the rapper?
No,
No, not
basketball
the
player.
rapper, the country music guy.
Okay, now that's my favorite of all. For him to open his heart and to share, a lot of times people don't realize everybody doesn't come from the White House. Some of us come from the little back houses behind the big house. And for him to talk about when he was a little boy, and one day his mom told him they were all going to camp out in the living room because she didn't want them to know that they had no power. I mean, and his heart, and the time that he had on the purple outfit and he did the salsa, I thought Lim and Carrie Ann were crazy. They gave him sixes, and
Well,
I'm like,
Carrie Ann has been
and she
very
said
hot.
his hand, but remember she said, I got caught up in your hands. So you know me, I went back through and I watched it, and he only did his hands like that when it was appropriate. Other than that, he flicked his hands. So I was upset. I want him to win. I really like him. I like how he takes directions. Him and I mean him right now, him and Sporty Spice are my two faves because they really work hard. Really work hard.
Oh
So
yeah.
we'll keep watching and we'll keep you tuned in, and you keep us tuned in. Please comment below if you have something to share. So, okay, I am a sappy girl. I admit that up front before I start this conversation. So I was watching football with my husband last Sunday, not the previous Sunday, but the Sunday before. And I'm like, oh my God, my football team wasn't doing good. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to watch football now. So I turned the TV over to Channel 5 and I was watching 60 Minutes. And 60 Minutes, there was a discussion about, one of the things that I love about my friends who are of Asian descent, they honor their elders. They relic in their words. Yeah, the seniors can be a little bossy. However, they show a lot of love, whereas a lot of different ethnic backgrounds in the United States, when you get old, they want to put you in a home and forget you. So Lady Gaga decided to do this thing with Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett is experiencing dementia and early stages of Alzheimer. So the conversation is the person doing the interview with Tony and Mr. Bennett, he's older, Mr. Bennett and his wife. And, like the guy would ask Mr. Bennett a question and his wife would answer, that kind of thing. So Lady Gaga starts talking about his last concert. She doesn't know if they do the concert, if he'll remember the words to the song or anything. So, but she says she's going to do it because he comes to life. Because she would ask him, "You want to do this song?" And he'd say, "Yeah, let's do it." And the band would start and he'd go, "Ha!" And he'd sing. So the concert comes, the audience is full. He walks out on the stage and they just, they're applauding. And he goes, "Wow!" You can see it, okay? So he comes to light, he does the performance, and Lady Gaga had said earlier, he calls her sweetheart. She goes, "I don't even think he knows who I am," And she comes out to join him on stage, and he goes, "Lady Gaga." And she almost lost it because he knew who she was. And she's like, I got a job to do. She goes, so I had to hold it together. She goes, oh my God, oh my God. He does the performance. And then the next day they asked him and he did not remember. I think that dementia and Alzheimer's and, instead of us wasting all of our money on all this other garbage, I think we need to focus some attention on the medical conditions on planet Earth that we can do something about. So that just, I was crying. My husband was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, you just don't understand. That's a moment. A lot of things that happen in the world, they just happen. That's a moment that will live in history because that man came to life, he performed, and then all of a sudden he forgot all about it.
It's pretty amazing how people that have dementia we don't know how this works. It's something in their brain triggers them to remember certain things and then forget other things, right? Like
Right.
some people have short-term dementia, like they'll remember, like they don't remember things like way back when, but they remember things that happen in the moment. Or there are
Right.
some people that remember things that happen way back when, but not things that happen in the moment.
Right.
So for Tony, yeah, it's really sad because he's such an icon, and to see him go through this, it's like, no, it can't happen to someone like that. But
Yeah.
in all honesty, we have to pull back the curtains and really, like Gloria said, address this whole Alzheimer's and dementia thing, because it's not about, okay, you have Alzheimer's dementia, let's give medication. Because we know that Pfizer had built a team around trying to find a cure, medication for it. They had like
Right.
over 300 staff working on a cure for dementia and Alzheimer's. They
Right.
couldn't find one, so they let all those people go because there wasn't anything they could do about that. And as you know, me as preventative and trying to help people that have chronic disease, we know that Alzheimer's doesn't begin when you're older. It begins 20 to 30 years prior to you actually having the first signs of even knowing that you have Alzheimer's and dementia.
Right.
So it's all about lifestyle. It's like what you feed your brain. It's so important.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
was sad. If you haven't seen it, please, people, find that video. You could probably Google it or go to YouTube and find it. But just to
Yes.
see that moment where he's on stage and Lady
Yeah.
Gaga comes out and he says, "Lady Gaga," oh my God, that was memorable. You'll never
And you
forget that.
and you could tell she was about to lose it. And then she starts twirling. I will never forget that moment.
Well,
Never,
had
never,
I
never.
been Lady Gaga, I wouldn't have said, forget that. I don't care if we're in a concert. I'm going to show my emotions.
Yes, yes, because everyone felt it. I mean, I felt it on television. I couldn't
Yes.
imagine being there. And she, because she narrated after, and she said that they did all the songs. You know, he would say, let's do this song. And, you know, he would ask the crowd, you want one more? And then just think about that. The next day, he did not remember it.
Very sad. But they
Yeah.
have video. Luckily, there's video to record that. And then if you really wanted, they could show it back to him.
Yes.
But
And hopefully his wife is going to play it for him, you know.
yeah, but we have a lot more to do on this dementia and Alzheimer's, which is left for another topic that we can discuss in
Yes.
a later chat.
Yes. Well, we will keep on it, because after seeing what occurred with COVID and how they have all these things that they're working on in the background, how fast they were able to pull it together, I think they can pull some more things together. We just have to get them to value life more than money.
Yes.
I really believe that in my heart. So, moving on, my girl Adele. I love Adele. I love Adele. My husband calls her the man hater. I don't care,
Oh,
because I will play her. I put her song "Hello," you know, and I'll pick 3 or 4 and I put them in a loop, and he's like, "Oh my God, the man killer." And I go, "She's not the man killer." So Adele is on the cover of Vogue, of the, I guess you would call it, is it called British or is it London? But it's the English version and the American version. She looks amazing. She finally, you know, she's been like, oh, dark, nothing. And she dropped a little bit of one of her new songs, and the album is going to be about her divorce. So, you know, it's going to be man haterish, kind of, you know, I don't care. I'm so excited to hear it. And you know, we've got to figure out how to get women to stop attacking women. They were after her about, you know, her weight loss and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, my God, this woman has changed her whole life. She's in love. Let her be in love. Let her be happy.
yeah, I think that she looks really, really good. And she really did put a lot of energy and effort into looking the way she does and to be healthy. That's what she wanted, right? To be healthy. And yeah, you're right. Women need to stop. Don't be a hater just because she's
Yes.
skinny. I mean, you could be
Yeah.
the same way if you put your heart and energy into it, right? Everyone can look
Right.
like Adele if they really
Yeah.
wanted to, but I say good on you and lift with the thing is there are women that lift other women up, but a lot of
Yes.
women put women down for doing
Yes.
something that's positive in their life.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that Adele doesn't take everything to heart because she knows in her heart that she did it for herself and she looks amazing. And I want to applaud her. She looks great.
I,
Fantastic. Good on
you
you,
look
Adele.
beautiful, and don't let someone change your joy. Because the thing is see, when Adele was curvy, I don't think her baby was tiny. If she was to change how she looked, her baby wouldn't even know who she is. So, girlfriend, you do you, and let these other haters do them, and just ignore it.
There's always going to be haters, no matter how great you are. Someone will say
Exactly.
something negative. As we
Exactly.
know, that's how it is with technology and social media. So
Oh
all I
yeah,
can say is let's put people up and not bring them down.
absolutely. I completely agree. Talking about people, let's talk about kids and vaccines.
Kids and vaccines. So, yeah, this is a huge topic. And you know, Gloria and I have been talking about this. This is not the first time we brought this subject up, and we'll bring it up again.
Yep.
Kids, they we as parents, if you're a parent watching this, we need to protect our kids. And it's really sad that even people like I think the vaccine now is out for kids 12 and under, right? It's now
It's being
available.
it's I don't think it's released yet, but President Biden said that pediatric doctors should prepare themselves to start giving the shots in early November. So they're coming.
Right. So it's just around the corner. And I feel very sad because I know that the people that are not getting vaccinated, the adults, they're not going to vaccinate their kids, which is
Right.
going to be the saddest thing ever. I mean,
Right.
I really don't know what could be done or said to really convey that we need to protect our kids. And, Gloria and I, if you've been watching our chats, we're all about the kids, how we raise our kids, how we teach our kids. What we
Yeah.
do with our kids affects their future. They're our future. And
Yes.
without the kids, where would this world be, right? We need kids to grow up and do amazing, great things.
Yes.
So I don't really know what's going to happen, but I have this feeling that people that are not being vaccinated right now are just going to put that on with their kids, pass it down and not have their kids, because why would they?
Right. If they don't believe it's good enough for them, they're not going to give it to their children. I look at the behavior of some people, like the governor of Texas, who is shooting down or banning mandates. So there are companies, big companies in Texas, who are making mandates that their employees are vaccinated before they come back to work. So the governor's like, okay, we're going to strike out all of that. So if you're listening to your leader and your leader says, you don't need that vaccine, so I'm the adult, I don't need the vaccine, so there's no incentive for me to give the vaccine to my child. And I always, Rosanna, I'm always thinking, how do people fall into cults? How do you give control of every aspect of your life over to someone or something, an entity? Now, I am a very spiritual person. I believe in God. I believe in source. I believe that there is a higher entity. However, in my belief, I also believe that that entity, that source, would never do anything to harm me or mine. So how do you, being a conscious adult, watching people die, the rate that children are getting COVID now is as high as it was when adults that were getting it before we got the vaccination. We have lost as many souls to COVID since we got the vaccination as we had lost prior to getting a vaccination. So I think, how do you watch this unfold? I mean, once they get sick, they go to the hospital. If by the grace of God, they are put on a ventilator and they survive, the first thing they say is, oh my God, I should have got the shot. How do we get people to not keep doing that? And all tied up in all of this, they don't want the shot. They're not going to get the shot. And they are taking the president's rating down because they're saying, look how poorly he's handling COVID. He gives you the shot, you won't take the shot, and now it's his fault.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't understand. And the thing that the governor, who is saying there's no more mandates, it's surprising coming from him, knowing that he's had COVID, his wife had COVID, and she was hospitalized as well, even though she was vaccinated. So
Right.
I'm kind of like questioning. So she's vaccinated, but he's not vaccinated.
Yeah.
So
and even though she got it, and that's one of his touting points, is that just because you get the vaccination doesn't mean that you won't get it. And it's like, we all know that people get flu vaccinations and have been getting them for years, and they may get the flu, they just don't get the version that kills you.
Right.
They don't hear that part.
Yeah, what he's not understanding is, yes, your wife was fully vaccinated. She went to the hospital, but had she not have been vaccinated, she could have been worse. She could have been intubated.
Yes.
And gone on a ventilator. And then we know what happens when people start going on the ventilator, right?
Right.
So
yeah. Now I heard that the J&J and the Pfizer pediatric versions, what Pfizer did is they took the adult vaccine that's working, and they shrunk it down to a viable amount so that they can then start giving that to the children. So I have people who are like, well, my God, why is it taking so long? And it's like, do you not understand? Our children at between the ages of 1 and 12, that's where they're developing all of their natural immunities. They don't want to mess with that. They don't want to give them something that's going to kill, and then it's going to kill the good as well as the bad. So I like the fact that they've taken longer to do it. I'm just hoping that they're going to wake up and get their own vaccines and, help their children. I can't think of one of the persons I know, his name is Cam Newton. Cam Newton had the opportunity to be the quarterback for the New England Patriots, following up behind Tom Brady, okay? He refused to get the vaccine. So, like a good company should, they told him, no, thank you. We don't need your services anymore. And then there's a basketball player, and he's about to lose $12 million because everybody's on the team is vaccinated and he doesn't want to get vaccinated. And I think people are going to start seeing, like I always say, cause and effect. Just because you think you're all that, because he said, flip it to somebody. He goes, it's my body. If I don't want it, I don't need it. And I'm like, wow, you unconscious person. It's not just about you. It's about everyone that's in your sphere. It's about, my biggest thing is I don't want to get a child sick. I don't want to do anything to get anybody sick, not myself. And I don't want anyone else to get sick either.
Exactly. It's exactly. And as we said, time and time again, I'm going to say it again. How did polio stop from herd immunity? I was just saying this, we're not going to ever get rid of COVID if we don't have herd immunity. And this is very sad because I think that this is going to keep going on for years and years to come until the day everyone starts doing it for health reasons, not for whatever reasons, scientific reasons, or for political reasons. We will never get rid of COVID.
Exactly. So I don't know what the solution is. I know there's a lot of people dying. I don't think people realize how many people are unnecessarily dying to say, I got to fight for my right. So Rosetta and I will continue to keep an eye on this. We will monitor it and we will continue to share it with you all. And, we would love to know, how do you feel about all this? What do you think? Please. And, we're always very conscious. We never are nasty. So please don't be nasty. You can share your opinions and your thoughts without being nasty. You don't have to be a Facebook Junior. You can be your own individual person. You don't have to run by someone else's algorithm. That's what I mean by Facebook Junior. You don't have to put in the little tape and say, hit play. You can actually think about it. And we would love to know what you think.
Yes, we would.
So, as we're talking about our kids, one of the things that's really always been concerning to me, I started thinking, just, being stuck at home myself, what happens to, the level of depression? Because when you don't have anyone to talk to, if you don't have internet access, what is that like? So I recently saw that depression on college campuses is at a crisis right now, and the suicide rates are rising. So there's this company that did a Healthy Mind survey of 33,000 college students. 39% of them showed that they have some form of depression. 21% of them severe depression, and 13% had suicide thoughts. This is our future. These are college students. These are not, people who are just, hanging out on the street corner. And we have to figure out how to help our children because, when you're depressed, you will do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Now, in that survey, did they mention anything about what the cause of the depression was?
Well, they said some of it was the isolation. The kids felt isolated. And I'm sure that had to do with COVID, being restricted where they could go and what they could do. I mean, in 2019, our college students were, out there doing what they wanted when they wanted. And then in 2020, remember, they made them pack up and go home, those that had already gotten into their dorms. Then they had to figure out how to do online classes. And it's the human connection. I think that's what's missing. And that will cause depression.
Yeah, because a lot of students get that. Like for me, I'm a very extrovert because I get my energy off of other people. And that's probably how a lot of, especially at that age when you're in high school and you're in college, you need that human interaction, right? You need that
Right.
day-to-day interaction. You don't want to be cooped up at home because you're already cooped up doing those virtual meetings, right?
Yeah.
So you need that. And that's how they let off their energy, right? That's how they
Right.
recharge. Instead of being cooped up, they recharge through their friends. So I
Yes.
could imagine a lot of people have been going through depression. And especially for the young kids, it's harder because I don't know how, as adults, how do we like really relate to that and actually help the kids get out of that depression mode, that funk that they're having? Because
Right.
there's not really much adults can do because we were all locked up
Right.
and that's just how it was. So we really need to, I think, as parents, be more aware of that and figure out ways that we can, instead of letting your child go up to the room, lock the door, do the Zoom calls or virtual schooling, and then after that, stay in the room. Why not have them come downstairs and interact with the family and do things with the family so that they're not there by themselves and feeling depressed and missing out on their other friends and family members or whoever they usually hang out with, right?
Exactly.
That would be a good way, I think, because I think during COVID we tried that with our son because he was locked up as well, doing virtual, and we tried to make it like he would, come out of your room and let's do some stuff, chit chat, cook or whatever, right? Do something
Right.
like family activities together. Even I know that I we say screen time, but even watching something on TV and talking about it would be even better than having themselves locked up in their room all the time.
Yes. And I know that that's a lot of what is going on. Is I know a young man, he was in school, he would come home from school, go in his room. His parents, I mean, they let him do it. He would go and get his food, take his food back to the room, eat his food in the room, bring the plate out, go back into the room, be in the room all night, go to bed, get up the next day, go to school, same thing. And I was like, oh, heck no. Number one, you'd be washing some dishes. You'd be learning how to cook. Eventually, you're going to go away to college. And I want you to at least not starve. I want you to know how to make, a sandwich, boil water, something. And the parents, the parents were like, oh, he's just quiet. And I'm like, that to me does not sound just quiet. That sounds like something else.
That sounds like
And
something else. Yes, and the parents are
yeah,
enabling him to continue that way. They're
exactly.
enablers. Yeah.
Exactly. So, if you have kids and, you're going through this kind of thing, share. I believe we can figure out anything. As a woman, I know we can fix anything together, given the opportunity. So comment below. Let us know what you're thinking. We would love
And
to know.
and there's probably, if you do some research on Facebook, there must be some group pages that you can join, right? With other
Right.
parents going through the same thing.
Right.
I mean, nowadays there's a group for anything and everything.
Everything. If you can think of it and you can type it, you'll probably find something somewhere
Yeah, so
about.
reach out because parents, we need to step up and we need
Yes.
to not enable them to keep doing that.
Yes, absolutely. I didn't watch it a lot. However, there were certain times that I would get into Jeopardy, and as Ella Trebek started to, fight prostate cancer, excuse me, not prostate. What is that stuff?
Pancreatic cancer.
Thank you. Pancreatic cancer. I was like, what's that stuff? That's what I lost my aunt to. That's probably why I didn't say it. Pancreatic cancer. I would watch the shows and I watched Ken Jenner, and I mean, he was amazing. There's a young man, his name is Matt Amodio. He played 38 consecutive winning games.
Wow.
He ran the second longest winning streak. Ken Jennings was number one, of 1,288 correct answers.
Wow.
And he was just unseated. I think that was Monday I think it was Monday. However, he walked away with $1,518,601. So Matt, congratulations.
Congratulations. And how much of that is going to go towards taxes?
Well, unlike the billionaires on planet Earth, he will probably end up spending about 33% of it on taxes. I mean, he is just, the way he played the game, I'm like, wow. So, you know, ABC has this new show with Sarah Hines from The View called The Chaser. And I wonder if he's going to become one of the experts on The Chaser, because all of the big winners of Jeopardy are the people who take on the contestants. And let me tell you something, it's an amazing show to watch. I mean, it's fast. And you're like, how do you know that?
What is it called again?
It's called The Chaser.
The Chaser, and it's already out?
Oh, yeah. It's getting ready to go in the second season. What happens is they have 3 contestants and they ask questions. And the goal is for them to answer the question correct. If they do, they get to move, like they'll set an amount of money that they're playing for. So every correct answer moves them down a spot. However, the expert, the Ken Jennings, he's right behind them. So Ken is sitting in the chair, and if he gets the answer right, he moves down. If he beats them by going over them, they lose and they get to go home. But it's really interesting. It's like Jeopardy on steroids. And the final analysis, what they do is they will ask questions and they put time on a clock based on the amount of time the contestants have had. Then the chaser is given, like, say, 2 minutes. And they have, like, if the contestants had 15 questions, the chaser has 15 questions, but he only has 2 minutes to answer them. And I mean, they are really going fast because the chaser doesn't want them to win. The contestants will have like $600,000 and they'll walk away with nothing because the chaser answered 18 questions in two minutes. It's amazing.
Wow, that is Jeopardy on steroids. That gives me anxiety to watch that.
I know. I've only watched a few of them, just, you know, I'm waiting for something else, but it's really interesting how that works out. So I think the whole world has been going through shock. I know the NFL, people like myself who love football, have all just been in shock. So on Monday, I was listening to the Chip Franklin show on KGO News Talk 810 here in the Bay Area. And Chip says, I'm going to play something for you. And he plays a snippet of Randy Moss, retired football player who's now a commentator, talking about John Gruden, who is the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and how some emails had come out kind of talking about how Gruden had said some things, not as the coach of the Raiders. He had done these things when he was an ESPN commentator. However, they were very derogatory, homophobic, sexist, racist. I mean, they was really bad. So yesterday, John Gruden quits from being the coach of the Raiders. And I thought, wow, this is fast. What happened? apparently there are 695,000 emails that this audit found where there were discussions between individuals. Now, John Gruden, he might have said it, but he said it to somebody else. So one of the persons we found out is the owner of the Washington football team. That's their name. They used to be called something else. They got rid of it because it was derogatory. So the Washington owner they're saying, just some of it, I think, is like, bantering, but the bantering was just negatively and nasty. The big issue is, yes, John Gruden, he manned up and he said, I said some things, I was wrong. It was never my intention to hurt anyone. I'm out. However, who wrote these 695,000 emails? Where are the other participants? What did they say?
Wow, that's a lot of emails. Yes, you're right. It's not just all one-sided. It has to be for a conversation to happen. It's between two or more people.
Yeah, and how? I mean, I've been around people, especially in my community. I hate the N-word. I hate it, hate it, hate it, and yet they believe if they use it, they're empowering themselves against it. And I'm like, no, you're not. And so I'm like, sometimes people just go along to get along. There are certain things I will never go along to get along. If you say that word, it's over. No, that's what you really think. That's what you really feel. And whether you put an ER on it or an A, I don't care. When you have had that word used against you as a human being, you don't like it. You don't like how it feels. I have friends that like one of the words that John Gruden, they said he used was a derogatory comment for the LGBTQ plus community that starts with an F and ends with a G. Now, I know back in the day, everybody would call somebody something like that. That was back in the day. This is 2021. So now people should know better, do better kind of thing. So this isn't over. And Roger Goodell, commissioner of NFL, you all make billions of dollars on the backs of these young Black football players. I mean, 60 to 70% of the players. See, that's how Rosetta, I always tell you, this is why I'm not God. Here's another reason. If I was a person that could control a situation, if they got mad at Kaepernick for taking a knee, they would hate me because I'd make all my boys sit down. Just, that's it. Sit down. Until you can respect me as a human being, I don't need to be out there on the field risking my life to play a game. Yes, I love football, to play a game that if I get hurt, I'm just hurt. That's the end of it. They gotta do better. I don't know how to get people to just, it's just skin. This is not the person, it's just skin. We have got to get beyond this, especially if Jeff Bezos and all these people who keep going up into the atmosphere, who knows what they're going to bring back with them one day. I'm
Very
just saying. True. I'm just saying. So I know there'll be more to this, and Rosetta and I will keep you all attuned because 695,000 emails. That's a lot of emails.
Yep. That's a lot.
I mean, it's like, what were y'all talking about? I don't know. Must have been good. And then our last topic kind of ties into this, as I was just saying, people going up into the atmosphere. William Shatner, he is 90 years old. We all lovingly know him as Captain Kirk, commander of the USS Enterprise. I love me some Star Trek. Love it. So Captain Kirk, with a free gift ticket from Jeff Bezos, went up into the environment, the atmosphere. So they flew him up high enough. I don't even know if it hit G status or not. They were up there for 11 minutes was the time allotment. And then he came back down to Earth. Now, if people watched it, when Captain Kirk came down the stairs, William Shatner, he was a little discombobulated, a little bit. And I think the reason that he is he's 90. However, he kept saying, wow, wow. And then they just let him talk. And he said, I think every person should see this because they need to see the blue. You've never seen a blue like that blue, and the black. And then he says the same thing they all say, the lining that surrounds Earth is so thin. So, okay, once again, someone else has said how thin it is. What are we going to do to live a more nurturing life and to protect Mother Earth? So I'm glad he said that. He was so overwhelmed with his experience that he was crying. He said it was the most beautiful thing. And he told them, he says, I hope I never, ever get over this feeling.
Wow. Wow. Crazy how it touches someone.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I remember the first time I was on an airplane and we flew through clouds, and I was just a kid, and I thought to myself, this is what it must feel like to touch the face of God, to be so close. And I can't imagine going, higher and higher. So I understand, the excitement. I still think they need to take some of those millions and put it down here on the planet. We have got to do a better deal of nurturing Mother Earth.
Exactly. And I'll say it again. I've said this before. I said it last week in the chat. Those people that Gloria read off last week, if you watched our chat of how many billions they make, they need to get together and collaborate. That's what I'm saying. Collaborations, right? We always do better as a team, right?
Yes. Yes. And if they don't collaborate, then I think the government should collaborate for them. And they should be, Amazon just had a corporate meeting, and they proudly announced that during COVID, they made like $10 billion while everyone was sheltered at home. And then, they touted that they paid zero taxes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
$10
Remember we talked about those safe havens that those millionaires and billionaires have, and celebrities?
Yes.
They don't have as many of those havens because they don't have taxes that they pay. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, not like us. So, well, as always, it has been a great, great chat. We went through a lot of different things. We try and mix it up so that we can just give you little, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. Because Rosetta and I really, really want to help bring the consciousness back to inclusivity, to love, to respect, and to honor. And as Ellen always reminds us as she closes her show, she feels the love in the room. Now she has a live audience. She sends it back out to them, and she tells them, go out and make it a great day and share it with the world. Rosetta and I hope you got an aha moment today, and you're going to figure out how you can feel the love that we send to you and take it and share it with the world.
Yes, we do. We love you, everyone that supports us and comes and checks out our chats. And we're all about kindness, right? Kindness and love. That's what we want in this world. So thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you checking out this chat today. And we would love for you to comment below on anything that we talked about, because we want interaction. We want to know what you're feeling and what you're thinking. And again, don't forget, don't be nasty, but we would like your opinions and whatever your thoughts are. Don't forget, if you sell tea, you offer tea, you have a tea shop in the Bay Area, even if it's online, we'd love to hear from you, because you never know, we could patronize your spot and would have you on a future chat. So we'd love
Yes.
to do that. And we just want to thank everyone so much. And as you've noticed, my cat's been here this
Yes.
whole time grooming himself. Oh, now he's leaving now that I say this,
I
he's
know
leaving.
now that we're paying attention to him, he goes, forget that garbage.
Yes, yes. But thank you so much, everyone. And remember to
to
always keep
keep
smiling.
smiling.
Take care now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.